this video, I'll show you the differences between Unit 1 and Unit 2 creative thinking projects for Sprout and Sapling levels. So to do that, I'll go through the different pages and point out a few differences. So when you open up April Gate to Unit 2 creative thinking project, it will look like this, very similar to Unit 1. And really all you have to do is just cover the one sentence summary just like you did in Unit 1. So to point out the time for this, I would recommend spending only about 1 minute covering this page in order to make sure you have enough time for everything else. Moving forward, we come to Part 1, and you'll notice this is brainstorming. Now, during Unit 1, the first thing that we did was cover the thinking tool. So this is different. We are going to start with brainstorming, and that is because the thinking tool is exactly the same as Unit 1, so we don't need to spend our time teaching it again to students. So moving forward, we arrive to this page, and students are going to begin working in their groups here. So with that, students still need some instructions and guidance from you, especially to finish within the time that is given for this. So the first thing that you want to do is cover the topic and instructions. So you'll point out to students that they're going to draw an invention, and they'll write an explanation about how to predict the rain. So some students are going to have some ideas, but others may struggle. So what you want to do is, again, make a list of different ideas with students using the Blackboard function. And then students can either choose one of these ideas, or they could use a different one if they had it. After that, you would then give them time to draw their pictures as well as write an explanation of their invention. Now, one thing I do to help students is I always give them some information that they have to include in their explanation. And that is based off of what they need to use within their script. So for this one, I would ask students that they include the name of their invention as well as how it works. And I would ask them to tell me step 1 and step 2 and all the way out, at least until step 3. And after that, I would give students time to finish both their drawing as well as their explanation. And as far as time goes, I would estimate that that should take them about 10 minutes. And that includes our brainstorming together as well as drawing and writing an explanation. After that, you would move on. And now they're going to use their thinking tool to further their initial brainstormed idea. So this here, students should be able to do this on their own. You would want to cover the directions with them. But let's just say that students did forget how to do it. You can always refer back to the thinking tool page here and remind students how to do their thinking tool. So if I had to estimate, I would say that you want to give students about 6 minutes to complete this page. After that, move forward, and it's now time for Part 2. So if you remember back to Unit 1, the first thing that we did during Part 2 was to do the media artwork. But the media artwork will be the same. So last time it was a news report, this time it will be a news report as well. So we don't really need to go into as much detail as before. So we really just get right into script writing. So moving forward, this page is available to you to just quickly review with students how they're going to write their script. If they needed to see the video one more time, it is here, but it's not mandatory for you to show this. It's only if they need it. So if you're going to cover it, I would recommend spending only about 3 minutes on this. And moving forward, okay, you come to this page. So to help you understand what this page is for, we should look at what a student has in front of them. So the next step is for students to write their own script. Now I'm going to show you the paper that students use. So during their Unit 1 script writing time, students only had to fill in the blanks. But now we want to see if they really learned how to write a script for a news report. So here we just have the different components of this script flow and then a bunch of blank lines for students to fill in. So this will be difficult for them even though they already did it during their last CTP. So in order for us as teachers to have time to help individual groups, we need to provide students with some reminders and expectations of what they should include. So let's go back to April Gate. So we use this summary board to help students remember what details to include in their script. So this is basically for your notes for your students. So in my class, what I would write these are some examples of what I would write. So for a greeting, I would ask students always to tell me where the reporter is. And I would also ask that they tell me the news channel that they are working for. And then I would probably give them a verbal reminder, such as, hello, I'm Megan reporting from Seoul, South Korea, here with April 2 News. That's enough, and then they can remember, oh, now I remember the greeting. Then I would say, okay, for your introduction, you absolutely need to say, today we will talk about blah, blah, blah. So at least I know that their script has some direction. For the interview, I would ask them to tell me 3 questions that they're going to ask someone, as well as 3 answers. And for their closing, again, I would ask them to tell me the reporter's name, and I would also ask them to tell me where, again, that they're reporting from, and the channel. And with that, students have some ideas of how to begin, and they won't just sit there not doing anything. And as far as time goes, I would say to give these instructions, as well as leave students time to fully write their script, students are going to need about 20 minutes for this. And so after they finish writing their script, they would then divide up into who will be who, and they can start practicing their lines. And with that, you have your script ready for recording the following week.